Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Davis, Dr. Hankin, members of the Foundation, deans, faculty, and guests. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lori Maida, and I co-direct the Catherine W. Davis Global Community Scholars Program with Ken Trickle. It's a pleasure for us to be here today to showcase the work of the Davis Scholars, a group of students of whom we are especially proud. These scholars come from the United States and all corners of the globe. They have excelled academically. We have among us Ingrid Barone, the valedictorian of WCC's class of 2009, Layera Sari, who was interviewed by the Journal News, and here's the article. There you go. Also Lydia Chan, a Jack Kent Cook Scholarship recipient who will be attending Columbia University in the fall. Many others in this cohort will also be attending some fine colleges and universities like Cooper Union, Binghamton, the Fashion Institute of Technology, NYU, Hunter, Iona, and the Culinary Institute of America. Some will be back to complete work at WCC, and one, Stephanie Madera, will be at home spending time with her new baby girl who's expected to arrive in July. But not only are these students academically gifted, but more importantly, they are exemplary world citizens. They've worked diligently throughout the year on various community service projects, and I'm confident that through their presentations, you'll get a feeling for their commitment for service. They're proof that everyone can do something, whether down the street or around the world, to strengthen the fabric of our shared humanity. We thank you, Mrs. Davis, for giving these young scholars the opportunity to study and to serve. Your generosity has allowed them to develop the social consciousness and the leadership skills that our society so desperately needs. And now I'd like to turn over the program to our scholars.
Good morning. My name is Siobhan Devaney.
And my name is Ingrid Barone. Good morning, Mrs. Davis, faculty, Dr. Hankin, administrators, and fellow students. As future nurses, Siobhan and I were interested in applying our passion for nursing and education to our community service project. Cornelia de Lange syndrome is a rare congenital syndrome which often goes undiagnosed. As future nurses, we decided to focus on bringing awareness about Cornelia de Lange syndrome, not only to the general public, but to future and practicing healthcare professionals. Early diagnosis allows early interventions and support greatly needed by the family. As the mother of a child with Cornelia de Lange syndrome, I understand firsthand how important information and support is. Knowledge is the foundation from which the family can begin processing the diagnosis and make informed decisions on behalf of their child and family.
To implement our goals, we made classroom presentations about Cornelia de Lange syndrome to all current nursing students at Westchester Community College, provided general awareness to student and faculty body, and provided awareness to pediatric clinical nurse practitioners in a hospital setting. Cornelia de Lange syndrome is a congenital syndrome caused by a genetic mutation which involves chromosome abnormalities in 5, X, and 10. It occurs in 1 in 10,000 live births and is named after a Dutch pediatrician in 1933. Diagnosis is made based on clinical findings such as facial features, growth, developmental, and behavioral characteristics. Common facial features are long eyelashes, Synophrys, which are eyebrows that meet in the middle, short nose, broad or depressed nasal bridge, and low set ears.
Common growth characteristics. I am the parent of an individual with Cornelia de Lange syndrome, and these are my 3 children. This gives you an indication of growth. This is a 14-year-old boy and a 12-year-old girl, 14, 13, and 12. They all have small stature. The tallest male may reach 5'4", and female is usually under 5 feet.
With Cornelia de Lange syndrome, you will see developmental delays, mental retardation, and learning disabilities, all ranging from mild to severe. Their receptive language skills are stronger than their expressive language skills, and many do not speak. These children require special education with occupational, speech, and physical therapy. Common behavioral characteristics: obsessive compulsiveness, anxiety, self-injurious behavior, aggression, and autistic-like features. These individuals need consistency and routine. Change and transition is very difficult for them. Behavior may be their only way of expressing their needs inappropriately. It may be from pain, sensory, overstimulation, and the inability to verbalize needs. In musculoskeletal, you may see reduction defects with absent forearms, scoliosis, and typical with all individuals of Cornelia de Lange syndrome is curved 5th finger and small hands and feet. Limb anomalies are generally found in individuals who are significantly involved. All these have profound impairment both medically and developmentally. The most common challenges for individuals with Cornelia de Lange syndrome are developmental delays, heart defects, gastroesophageal reflux disease, bowel abnormalities, feeding difficulty, hearing and speech problem, and seizures.
The nurse is often the healthcare provider with the most frequent and intimate relationship with the individual with Cornelia de Lange syndrome and their family. It is very important for the nurse to have an awareness of Cornelia de Lange syndrome, to understand assessment and plan of care, and to show sensitivity and support towards the family. The nurse must address the needs of the family and provide information about support services. This is a family which will experience the grieving process which occurs upon diagnosis and throughout life as various milestones are not met. This is a family which will experience the strain of constant caretaking. And this is a family which will experience many challenges, including financial, marital, and social isolation. As part of our community, the Cornelia de Lange Syndrome Foundation was founded in 1981. Its mission is to ensure early and accurate diagnosis. They provide a forum for families to obtain information, emotional support, and consultation from medical professionals. The foundation publishes a bi-monthly newsletter and organizes biannual national conferences. An estimated 20,000 individuals remain undiagnosed or without services in the United States. Volunteers across the nation, such as Siobhan and I, work to raise awareness in the community, among professionals, and in the media. So as part of our community service project, we presented PowerPoint presentations to the LPN and RN nursing students during classroom lecture time. We focused on diagnosis, manifestations, and nursing implications. At Westchester Community College, there's approximately 200 nursing students we presented to. The presentations were well received, and they were followed by active questions and genuine interest. We also provided information to nurse educators. It is our hope that information from our presentation will be incorporated into lectures so that future nursing students will receive education about Cornelia de Lange syndrome. We also provided awareness to pediatric nurse practitioners at Westchester Medical Center's Maria Ferrari. This nurse practitioner has spent the last 22 years in pediatric nursing and has encountered many children with undiagnosed congenital anomalies. As a clinical educator, she was very receptive to providing awareness to her colleagues at Westchester Medical Center. The annual Westchester Community College Health Fair took place on April 15th in the Student Center. We organized a table on Cornelia de Lange syndrome awareness. The fair was well attended. We answered many questions and distributed brochures.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis, for giving us a platform which has enabled us to educate so many on Cornelia de Lange syndrome. It has been an enriching experience for us personally, and we will carry this with us throughout our careers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lydia Chan, and this is my project partner.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Madera.
Both Stephanie and I are teachers in the arts. I have a diploma in piano pedagogy from the Royal Schools of Music in London and have been teaching piano for the past 10-11 years. Stephanie has also been a dance teacher for the past 10 years and has taught and toured in California, Colorado, Florida, and New York. Because of our experience and passion for the arts, we decided to incorporate this into our community service project. Both of us believe strongly in music education. We are fortunate to have a very supportive president who feels this way too. In one of President Obama's speeches, he said, and I quote, "Children who do music are actually better in math. Kids whose imaginations are sparked by the arts are more engaged by school. The support for the arts should be a priority. Art education teaches us to respect and understand people who are not like us. That makes us better citizens and makes a democracy work better." In a recent article by the Huffington Post, Michelle Obama reiterated this fact. During her recent trip to New York City, she visited the Metropolitan Museum of Art and the New York City Ballet and emphasized the crucial role that arts play in our society. She said, "The arts are not just a nice thing to have or to do if one can afford it. Rather, paintings, music, poetry, and fashion all define who we are as people and provide an account of our history for the generation." The President and I want all children who believe in their talent to see a way to create a future for themselves in the arts community, either as a hobby or as a profession. The First Lady then reminded the audience that President Obama had included an additional $50 million for the National Endowment for the Arts in his economic stimulus package. In addition, according to a research done by the Science Daily and published in the Psychology of Music journal, children exposed to a multi-year program of music tuition display superior cognitive performance in reading skills compared with their non-musically trained peers. With all this support and research in mind, Stephanie and I decided to work with Carver Center, a non-profit organization that provides after-school and family programs to the underprivileged in Port Chester. Started in 1943, the Carver Center has programs that cater to teens, teen mom pregnancy, seniors, English and computer classes, and after-school programs for children. More than half of those who work there are volunteers, and most of their funding come from individual donations. After speaking with Zoe Colin, the Director of Children's Programs, we decided to provide a much-needed food drive for the Carver Center. We also worked on developing a music and dance program for the children at the center. This has never been done before, so over a course of 5 weekends in March and April, we worked with a group of approximately 20 children in a modern dance production of Peter and the Wolf. We had a lot of fun with the kids, and we saw how they learned that music and dance could be a great way to express themselves. Here are some pictures of our practice sessions. Now Stephanie will talk a little bit more about what we did at the Carver Center.
Hi. So we were very excited about our project at the Carver Center because we're both very passionate about music and dance and working with children. Our project there, we decided that we wanted the music and dance program, and we came across a couple challenges along the way. One of the challenges that we were faced upon was finding the right piece of music. We weren't sure if we should come up with our own music and play, or to come and use something that somebody's already used. And we decided on using Peter and the Wolf because it's a very cute story for the children. It has lots of characters and animals, and it's a very positive story for them to dance and to learn about the music. Peter and the Wolf was a great piece of music. We had a bit of a challenge finding the right piece of piano music to use. And once we did, we spent a lot of time working together, Lydia and I coming together, and her playing the piano and me choreographing movement for the kids to dance to. The children that we taught were ages kindergarten through 4th grade. So one of the other challenges that we faced was some of the disciplinary issues with the children. These children were very wonderful children, very sweet. However, they're very hyper and needed a lot of attention. The very first weekend that we spent with them, the very first session that we had, it was about 20 or more children in one room and just the two of us, who had no expectations of dance, had no idea what dance or music was and what they were doing. So it was quite overwhelming for them, and a very big group. So we decided that to try to help the children learn in a more positive environment and to get them the most out of the program, we divided them up into 2 groups. Our first group was K in 1st grade, and our second group was 2nd through 4th. We also decided that we read them the story, explained the story and the music behind it, and we gave each children special parts in the play. We had a main character, Peter, a wolf, there was ducks and birds, and each movement went along with those characters. So the children were very excited, and they felt very positive about the fact that they had special parts in this play. We also rewarded them at the end of each dance and music session with stickers, and at the very end of the production we gave them award certificates, and we had a little reception afterwards. There was also, at the Carver Center, they're very fortunate enough to have a piano there. However, the piano that they have is in poor condition, had some broken keys, and Lydia was playing the music live for each session and for the production. So she was faced with the challenge of kind of rewriting the music just slightly and going around the keys, but nobody noticed, and it turned out really well. The irregular attendance, this was the first time that Carver Center had offered a music and dance program for the children. So, and it was also held on the weekend. Most of their programs are held Monday through Friday, and they don't offer many programs for the children on the weekend. So the parents got a little confused by the schedule, and it also fell during the time of spring break time for the children. So to conquer that, we went ahead and made phone calls to each of the children and the parents every week to make sure that they knew they were coming and what time to show up. And then just finding the right dates and planning all their big performance and what was going to happen, and organizing all the costumes. For this production, we also made costume pieces for the children. To get more into character, we made duck face pieces, and we had cat pieces and birds, little facial mask, and they were very excited about that. It helped them get into character. Our lasting impact is that we were the first to start this music and dance program at the Carver Center, an ongoing program with an ending production. We also established an ongoing summer program between the WCC and the Carver Center. We put up flyers and announcements for the music and dance department here at WCC. We also spoke to both the music and dance department. And we got 2 volunteers to sign up for their summer program. This ongoing summer program is something that the Carver always holds, but they don't have any music or art education for the children. So we went ahead and found 2 volunteers to work this summer as volunteers for the Carver Center. And we hope that is a continuation, and they'll put on a little show for the families as well. Also, a parent who also volunteered her 2 children, high school students who want to get involved with the arts at the Carver, one who's an actor and one who's a piano and cello student. We feel like we provided an alternative for the underserved children there, an extra program for them, something to encourage them and to maybe spark some arts that they didn't know, and some talents that they didn't know they could have before. Decrease the risk of their negative associated behaviors. It's really encouraging for us to offer that program for them, and because a lot of these children didn't have any activities that they do on the weekends, and just to give them one extra activity and positive thing for them to learn and to do was encouraging for us, and to see how they enjoyed it at the end was very rewarding. We also completed a very successful food drive. Our main goal at the Carver Center was the arts and music there, but we also asked them what they needed help with, and they said that a food drive was in need. So we went ahead and established this food drive, and it was a success. Living Word Christian Church helped us do it, and we provided a bulletin flyer for their Sunday church services, and then all the church members were very excited and got involved and helped and deliver a lot of food to the church, and then we went ahead and took it over to the Carver Center. The Carver Center was very pleased with it. They said it came at the right time when they were low on food, and not a lot of people were donating because of the high prices of groceries. So this is a couple pictures of the food drive, Living Word Christian Church, which is a local church in White Plains, and a couple of the truckfuls of food that we collected and brought over. And here are some pictures of our Peter and the Wolf production, which happened on April 30th at the Carver Center. Our last final practices, and the children and the parents, and also us handing out the rewards at the end, certificates to the children. And lastly, we just want to say thank you to everybody who has helped us along the way. Dr. Maida and Professor Kent Trickle, thank you very much, and to the students who have helped us and encouraged us and helped us improve our presentation and given us good ideas to help the children learn more and enjoy it. And thank you very much, Catherine, who has given us this opportunity and this scholarship and allowed us to do this community service project. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Ms. Davis. Good afternoon, everybody. Ms. Davis, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to be here today. We're all very grateful for that. And my name is Manuel Schmid. I'm from Germany.
I'm Heidi Jim from Hong Kong.
Julio Vilca from Peru.
I'm Mastana Sadat from Iran.
And our project is called Lend a Hand. And as you can see, our group is very diverse. We're from all over the world. We have Asia, we have South America, we have the Middle East, and Europe. And that's basically the reason why we chose to work with Neighbors Link, because we felt like we wanted to help recent Latino immigrants to get more integrated into the society by helping them learn English, to teach them at least basic English language skills. I'm sorry. And also we hope that we could help foster a culture of service by showing people through our project how they can help their communities and support their communities more. But above all, what really motivated us, what really strengthened our motivation, was when we first went to Neighbors Link, we met Jose. He's an immigrant from Guatemala, and he told us that he lives in a 2-bedroom apartment with another 9 people. And that was really kind of shocking to hear, but it actually really helped us to get motivated even more to help these people learn English and lay the foundation for a better job and a more successful future. And that's exactly what Neighbors Link is trying to do. They were founded in 2000 in Mount Kisco in order to strengthen the community by enhancing the integration of Latino immigrants into the society, by educating them, empowering them, and employing them.
We create fires to give the workers some basic knowledge about safety. Some of them have to work in landscape, garden, and backyard. At this pace, you will easily get in touch with poison ivy and Lyme disease. The problem is most of the workers don't know anything about poison ivy and Lyme disease. Therefore, we create fires on disease. We inform them how to identify poison ivy and Lyme disease by telling them about the symptoms and how to prevent it. And this is our flyers for poison ivy in English version and Spanish version. And this is our flyers of Lyme disease in English version and Spanish version.
We also asked Neighbor Link what else we can help, and they say that unfortunately the worker doesn't have protecting gears. So after collecting money from different sources, we bought helmets, work glasses, and safety glasses and work gloves. As simple as it sounds, this is important because it helps the workers to protect from minor injuries. Most of them doesn't have insurance. We also taught them how to use some landscaping machines. It will give you the confidence to do a better job and the skills to find a new one. I would like to add the workers immigrant. For worker immigrants, English is important tool, not only because it gives you the opportunity to find a new job, but it gives you the motivation to improve in their life. It's imperative to highlight that working immigrants are part of our community, and they should be respected, it should be recognized, and because they are productive people, they share their values, and they become part of the melting pot of this country.
According to Jose again, English is an important tool as well. Neighbors Link also offers ESL classes, English as second language. Volunteers from different colleges, high schools conduct a variety of small group ESL classes, tutoring sessions, informal conversation groups almost every day of the week. Most of the ESL students are Latino immigrants of all ages who come every morning to Neighbors Link in hope of getting a job for that day. As long as they are waiting to get picked for a job, they can participate in ESL program at Neighbors Link. And they mostly have 3 to 6 years of education with very little basic English knowledge. What we have done was tutoring starting on Thursdays, then we switched to on Sundays. And you can see some of the pictures. The most challenging problem that we faced was dealing with teaching. We are all foreign students who have lived in this country for only 2 or 3 years, and we have also attended ESL classes in the beginning at WCC, and this time we took the part of tutors. It was a real challenge for us. And also, except one of us, Julio, not being familiar with Spanish gave us sometimes trouble teaching or explaining even most basic words in English. And another challenge was to find donors for the tours in today's troubled economic environment. For our lasting impact, we created a set of flyers which we post on campus to introduce Neighbors Link to WCC students and ask others to join for the community effort. And we have also we had an interview with the Viking News on campus, and as you can see, this is our article. We have provided a short video of our interview with Jose, but unfortunately we are not able to show the video at this time. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Good morning, Mrs. Davis. Good morning, faculty, administrators, students. My name is Sandra Gomez, and I'm from Colombia.
And my name is Garnett Benjamin, and I'm from Jamaica.
The title of our presentation is Reaching Across Borders and Boundaries.
I chose this project because my ultimate career goal is to be the owner of a Christian children's clinic. And I believe that through our efforts in this project, I have attained a deeper respect of being a servant in yours and other communities.
I chose this project because I still feel a strong connection with my native home, Colombia. I have encountered political problems in my country. I have seen the war ripping families apart and displacing people. I have seen heartbreaking cases on which children have to go with no shoes to school because of poverty. Thus, I decided I can make the difference for some of these families.
Although Colombia is a major tourist attraction, there are several localized hazards which their inhabitants have to face every day, such as its 15 major volcanoes, its location along the Pacific Rim of Fire, its involvement in the production of the world's cocaine, and the life expectancy of its inhabitants.
FARC, Fuerzas Armadas Revolucionarias de Colombia, is a terrorist group which has been creating chaos. If I translate FARC, it would mean Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. They have been out in the jungle since the 1970s. Their ideology is based on a Marxist-Leninist ideology which focus on a communist idea. They believe the only way to end inequality is by making Colombia a communist country. They say that they want to reach equality, but the way they aim to achieve their goal is by killing people. If someone rejects becoming a member of their group, it's a death sentence. They do not tolerate anyone who do not follow their ideas. My uncle and my 13-year-old cousin were killed by their group. My grandfather was displaced out of the land, and not only my family has been suffering because of this terrorist group, but many thousands of families every year are displaced by the FARC.
With our intent and motive set on making a difference, we needed an outlet to reach those in need. Searching for a charitable foundation with whom to partner proved challenging, since there was no way to be sure whether our packages would be delivered to the people that really needed it. Fortunately, we found a group called Conexión Colombia, which is a nonprofit organization that is associated with 40 different foundations across Colombia. They are dedicated to helping the underprivileged and oppressed families of this country. After contacting them a couple of times, we decided to partner with them to reach those in need.
Garnick and I set some clothing drive days. We designed some signs and we post them around campus to let students and faculty know we were going to be at the classroom building collecting some clothing for Colombia families. We held 6 sections of 2 hours each. We also bought some candies in order for us to collect some money to buy some stuffed animals for the children in Colombia. We went to 6 different CVS's to speak to the managers in order for us to get a better deal for the stuffed animals.
On April 22nd, we were invited to Community Peace Day, along with Professor Williams, Professor Kokor, and Khalid Latif, the chaplain of NYU, to speak about our involvement in community service. Sandra was then interviewed and has been featured in the Viking newspaper. We had hoped to reach as many students as possible and instill a dedication and a passion for community service. And we were rewarded with several very interested students and faculty members at the end of our speech.
In order for us to make the donation, we have to write 6 different letters for Conexión Colombia. 2 of these letters were a requirement for the Colombian government to be notarized. Thus, Garnick and I went to the Colombian embassy and got the letters notarized. We also have to go through rigorous progress with DHL, which is the company in charge of transporting the donation. After all the requirements were met, we were able to send the donations to Colombia.
Through our efforts, we were able to pack and ship 4 boxes with a plethora of items, ranging from clothing, bags, accessories, and the 57 stuffed animals that we all bought for the children. On the campus, we left a legacy of community service in the minds of the attendees of Community Peace Day and the readers of Viking News. A more tangible effect can be seen in the families and children in Colombia whose lives we have changed through our efforts. Thank you, Mrs. Davis, so much for giving us the opportunity to reach and help these children. And thank you, Professor Trickle and Professor Maida, for instilling in us the drive to just continue our efforts and push through this and complete it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Davis and everybody else present in the room. Our project is Campus Conversation on Race, a Talk Worth Having. My name is Ruby Chirakel and I'm from India.
I'm Sharon Latham and I'm from Jamaica.
I'm Arlene Palmer and I'm also from Jamaica.
I'm Carla Cuenca and I'm from Peru. I'm Florence Basca and I'm from Haiti.
Campus Conversation on Race, a Talk Worth Having engages students in 5 student-led discussions on race and ethnicity. For centuries, people have been divided and segmented based on race. As we mentioned before, we are from different places, but we had never encountered racial discrimination. Therefore, we signed up to this program to understand and comprehend the cause of racial discrimination, to learn how to deal with it, and to grow from the experience. We believe that race is not always a product of hatred, but often of ignorance. Therefore, we focus on educating college students about race-related issues. We had 2 groups of students with a total of 19 students. We tried to create an environment of openness and trust so that every participant was safe to share their experience, which in turn facilitates open dialogue and helps them in understanding different views in order to foster unity and diversity. Now, Sharon will talk about the format of the program.
The Campus Conversation on Race, a Talk Worth Having program was initially developed by Emerson College. Mr. William H. Smith is the project creator and coordinator for the program, and he helped to create the manual that we use in our project. The manual that we use follows a very strict format. We basically have 5 sessions, and these sessions are based on specific cases and views regarding race relations. We have also ground rules, and these ground rules are posted in the room during each session. Some of the ground rules are as follows. Everyone should express their own ideas about the topic. Everyone's views need to be heard. Each person must listen carefully. There should be no interruptions while someone is speaking. Everyone is given equal opportunity to speak. Respect each person's views. The topics for the 5 sessions were as follows. Session 1, Race Relations and Racism. We basically encourage the participants to share their experiences, their beliefs, and their perceptions. Session 2 and Session 3 were both entitled Dealing with Race, but Session 2 dealt with what is the nature of the problem, and Session 3 dealt with what we should do to make progress. Session 4, Public Policies. What kind of public policies will help us to deal with race relations, and Session 5, Moving from Words to Action. Now, Aurelian will now speak about accomplishing our project.
Before we could have campus conversation on race for students by students, we the host had to be trained. So we underwent 16 hours of training led by Professor C. Williams. During the training, we learned how to appreciate other races and cultures. We learned how to responsibly approach racial conversations without sparking unnecessary arguments. We also role-played each of the 5 sessions Sharon mentioned, both as co-facilitators and participants. After the training, we were awarded our certifications, which gave us the go-ahead to start our campus conversations on race. So our team got together and we created posters and flyers to inform students that we were going to be hosting a campus conversation on race. We also did physical recruiting, which was basically the most important part of our recruiting. After we have enough students, we formally began our sessions of CCOR at WCC. Now, Carla is going to speak about monitoring and evaluation.
To keep a record of our participants, we asked every single participant to sign their names at the beginning of every session. We also gave them flashcards to tell us what they learned at the end of the sessions. What you're going to see, for our last session, we had our participants complete an evaluation form, and what you're going to see now are some of the questions from the final evaluation. We have, as Ruby said, 2 groups, 90 participants in total. The age average was from 18 to 35, and we had participants from different backgrounds, male and female. One of the questions was to rate from 1 to 5, which topic was the greatest importance in America's future, and race relation was number 1. We have positive results from our participants, and our participants say that they really enjoy coming to our session because it was a diverse group. And they were able to express themselves, their opinions were always respected. And when they were asked what actions this session inspired them to initiate, most of them say that they will become more open-minded, they will share, respect, and accept other people's culture. Now Florence is going to conclude with our project.
We completed our last session on March 30th, and Ruby's group ended their session on April 8th. Campus conversation on waste will be ongoing in our college every semester. Therefore, we started to recruit new members to run the session in the fall. So far, we have about 6 students sign up with their phone numbers so that we can contact them in September for the training. These new members will be trained by Professor Williams, and they will use a new co-facilitators training guide, which means that the manual will be improved, might be improved, based on our feedback. This program will still be sponsored by the Black Student Union and the Diversity Action Committee of Rochester Community College. Campus Conversation on Race is a wonderful program for a community college because it brings us together and it helps us to be more open and comfortable to talk about race. Doing this community service was an amazing experience for the participants and the co-facilitators because we shared some interesting dialogue about different views on race issue. Now, some of the participants and the co-facilitators are willing to approach other ethnic groups, and they are making the effort to change the way they used to think about other races. Believing that one race is superior to another has long been engraved in our minds and has kept us from moving forward. Both the media and history often reinforce stereotypes in our everyday lives. It is also perpetuated from one generation to another as prejudices are handed down from parent to child. I strongly believe that racial stereotypes cannot be eliminated, but they can be diminished by educating our community, family, and friends. The most significant lesson we learn from doing this community service is that racism is not always the product of hatred and prejudice. It may often be a product of ignorance. Campus conversation on race can effectively address and ultimately lessen this ignorance in our lives. Having President Obama as our leader is inspiring some people to reconsider stereotypes and move one step closer to ending our painful past experiences that separate us. Thank you. And thank you, Mrs. Davis, for giving us the opportunity to give our time and services to this scholarship program. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Davis, fellow classmates, and faculty. My name is Tatiana Junkova.
My name is Leah Blakely.
And the name of our presentation is Our Experience with the Crystal Closet. Let me start off with a brief definition of what domestic violence truly is. It isn't just hitting or fighting or an occasional mean argument. It is the chronic abuse of power. The abuser tortures and controls the victim by calculated threats, intimidation, and physical violence. Actual physical violence is often the end result of months or years of intimidation and control in the relationship. The relationship is usually based on marriage, family ties, a romantic relationship, or a former marriage. Anyone at any age can be affected. According to the United States Department of Justice, in the year 2000, 1,247 women and 440 men were killed by an intimate partner. The numbers have only gone up since then. It is up to you to help stop domestic violence. The Crystal Closet is a nonprofit organization founded by Carmen de Vitoria dedicated to providing services to victims of domestic violence since 1999. Two of the current sites are located in Yonkers and Peekskill. The Crystal Closet is not a shelter. It does not provide housing. The women come to the Crystal Closet after dealing with the criminal justice system. The Crystal Closet provides certified health professionals in counseling women and children seeking help from the organization. It also provides attire and cosmetics for women who would like to go back out into the working world. I can speak for the both of us when I say that we have both witnessed domestic violence in our homes when we were younger. Since the Crystal Closet is a local, fairly new organization, we wanted to introduce it to the Westchester Community College and the wider county as well. Many women have nowhere to turn after they have been abused. We believe that this is the best place for them to go for support and get them back up on their feet. Leah will now talk about our contributions.
Good afternoon. I'm going to talk about the contributions made to the Crystal Closet, starting with the Catherine's Tea House fundraiser. We provided assistance in the Catherine's Tea House fundraiser. This was a function held in November at a local tea house. This was a major function of 2008 for the organization. The Crystal Closet grand opening was originally set for January, but was pushed back to February because of the weather conditions. The grand opening was held to show appreciation for the new board members that made the Peekskill site possible. The next step. March brought the right time to bring the Crystal Closet to speak to our students at Westchester Community College in honor of Women's History Month. Carmen Del Victorio Otero, founder and CEO of the Crystal Closet, made a profound and heart-wrenching speech which described her personal experience and the current events happening in the papers today. I quote from her speech, "The next step is to stop the violence. We need you to help stop the violence." Two editors from the Viking newspapers also attended the event. The Crystal Closet made the front page of the March issue. The clothing drive entitled Clean Your Closet was held 1 week at the Peekskill site and was then brought to our campus 2 weeks after the Next Step presentation. On the WCC campus, we were able to collect money as well as some outfits. The masquerade ball brought April to a great end and had a great outcome. It was held at the Christopher Columbus Society in a donated banquet hall for the fundraiser. 15 volunteers from the Peekskill Youth Borough also helped with this event, ages ranging from 12 to 19. This showed me that the community is really willing to give a helping hand to an organization in need. The health fair was held this past month at a local high school. This health fair gave the Crystal Closet a chance to reach out to the youth in the community and their families. Free services were also provided from a number of organizations. There are a few ways that we hope we have made a lasting impact. We have introduced the Crystal Closet to the local community and to the Westchester Community College. We have raised money and collected clothing for the organization. We have created a brochure that outlines the services provided. Excuse me. We both feel that working with the Crystal Closet has not only helped the organization, but has helped us as well. Even though this project has ended with the school year, we still plan on working with the Crystal Closet in the future. We would also like to thank you for giving us the chance to become involved with this organization and the community around us. Thank you.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming. Well, we want to thank everyone for being here today, especially Mrs. Davis and the faculty and the students who helped provide us with an opportunity to improve the lives of the less fortunate. Our project is called Harvesting Hope Through Education, and we decided to volunteer with REAP, which stands for the Rwanda Educational Assistance Project, which is dedicated to improving the educational system in rural Rwanda. We decided to volunteer for REAP because we feel education is important because it helps people maintain healthy and fulfilling lives. But also as individuals, we owe a lot of our success to academic achievement, and we wanted to extend those same opportunities to succeed to other people so they might improve their lives as well.
Hello, and my name is Yvonne Fernandez. I would like to ask all of you to please take a moment to reflect upon the person in your personal life who has impacted your education. Who will be that person in this Rwandan child's life? We have all had challenges during our education we've had to face. And through our individual support systems, such as family and friends, we've been able to overcome them. However, for this young girl just starting out school in Rwanda, visualize how good school would be like for her. With no electricity, no running water, crowded rooms, poorly trained teachers, and small resources and opportunity. Envision how drastically our lives would have been. In addition to all of this, imagine if your family was taken away from you. To better understand the condition these children are in and why, it's important to revisit the effects of the 1994 genocide in Rwanda. During the 1994 Rwandan genocide, over the course of 3 months, an estimated total of 800,000 Hutus and 800,000 Tutsis and moderate Hutus were slaughtered by Hutu extremists. By the time the genocide was over, between this atrocity and AIDS, a total of 600,000 children were orphaned. For these orphans, education was not an option because they needed to fend for themselves. Many of these orphans were forced into parental roles for themselves and their younger siblings. And so with no education, family, or opportunity, what does the future of Rwanda look like? How is education in Rwanda currently like? Since the genocide, the educational system in Rwanda is still being rebuilt after 15 years, and it is at its most critical point. REAP is currently working with the Duha School, shown in these pictures. Here you may see how most rural schools stand today. With no electricity, visibility literally depends on how sunny the day is, as open windows are the only light source. With small, crowded rooms, the student-teacher ratio is 71:1. With no running water and only one latrine for over 2,200 people, and absolutely no privacy, imagine how you would feel like in that situation. Only 10% of children who attend primary school continue on to secondary school. And the disheartening reality is that a vast majority of children become adults and are pushed into the economy with few skills to contribute to their society.
We feel education in Rwanda is important for a few reasons. First, it's important to mention that around 90% of the population lives in rural poverty, making a living mostly through farming or agriculture. Because education is the foundation people use to build their lives, having limited to no access to it can severely limit a person's potential. And we feel that this cycle will continue until educational restraints have been lifted, allowing people to pursue a course in life other than the one they've inherited, and thereby enabling them to find work in another sector or get the training they need in an area that provides a better standard of living. Education is an avenue that allows us to reach our goals. And it also allows us to plan for the future, but also it allows us to plan for a future that works for us. This is what dreams are made of. It's hope for the next generation so that it may be better off than the one that preceded it. This is important to mention because it's only been around 15 years since the genocide, which is not a really long time because atrocities like this usually tend to take generations and generations through the healing and grieving process. And we feel the healing process will start in primary school, where kids learn to work and play together. In a cooperative learning environment, children will be able to work with one another and appreciate their ethnic differences and kind of like be able to live together and understand one another. But also, a major force of the genocide was propaganda, which was used to drive a wedge between the Hutu and the Tutsi communities, making it easier for one to exterminate the other. And the problem was that nobody really stopped to think about what was going on or what problems or harm their actions were really causing people. And we feel that through education, it would instill a lot better critical thinking in the population. So, therefore, we not only see education as a means to aid in the reconciliation process, but also as a powerful tool for future genocide and atrocity preventions. Next one.
As mentioned before, we volunteered with REAP, a nonprofit organization started by Edward Ballin. REAP is dedicated to improve education in the area of Rwanda, which has extensive poverty, where teachers require training and schools lack infrastructure. REAP is based on the belief that success and hope for children hinge upon community, opportunity, and the fulfillment of each child's potential through education. REAP has two major objectives, the first being to work in conjunction with Bank Street Teachers College, and provide a teacher training program in Rwanda so teachers are better prepared to offer a quality education. And second, to rebuild the existing Duha school with the local Rwandan community to bring a better training environment for the children in Rwanda. As the dictionary defines REAP as to harvest, we wanted to help REAP harvest hope in Rwanda and help these children have a better future and be able to pursue their dreams through education. One of the ways we decided to help REAP was by hosting a walkathon at Westchester Community College. First, we began by preparing a proposal and petition from the student body from support. After approval and setting the event date for April 29, 2009, we worked on flyers like this one, which were distributed around campus announcing the event. We also had a table at Club Day, as seen in the picture, to advertise the walkathon and raise awareness about Rwanda. Through the WCC Foundation, we were able to obtain t-shirts for profit. We also made handcrafted magnets as promotional material. And these are some of the magnets that we made and the t-shirt. We designed these signs with facts about the genocide, and they were placed throughout the path to create an experiential walk. As the participants walked and read the signs, they felt what life is like walking in the shoes of a Rwandan child. As you see these signs, imagine being in Rwanda and going through what these children go through each morning when they wake up. Through this event, we left a lasting impression by raising funds, promoting activism, supporting a cause, and supplying a program clubs may utilize and follow to host their own annual walkathon at WCC.
Alongside the walkathon, we also decided to do a short little film on education, featuring a lot of programs or organizations that reach out to either disadvantaged groups of people or people who would otherwise fall out of the mainstream educational system. Here we have a couple shots of the process. In the top picture, I don't know if you can see that, is Mr. Ballin, the founder of REAP. And the second slide is Mr. Santoro and Ms. Munez, who run a 21st Century program in Portchester Middle and High School, which helps provide additional after-school activities to students, but also helps newly arrived immigrant students get adjusted to the culture so that they can be more productive. And the bottom slide is of Dr. Hankin, president of Westchester Community College. And really, overall, I'd say the film was intended to kind of show the value of education and how it could be used to solve a wide range of problems, either affecting an individual or on a societal level, to show the benefits of helping these kinds of people. I think we have a short little clip for you.
What they want their kids, not only knowledge, but they want their kids to be able to get along with one another so genocide never happens again. Learning how to problem solve, learning how to make decisions. The value of education is in relation to the larger culture. And eventually those kids are going to be running the country.
They spend a lot of time and attention on students who are easy to teach, who want to learn, and the students who are difficult to reach because they have learning disabilities, let's say, or whatever the problem is. There are inequalities there. If given the time and attention, and if you can identify the disabilities, and you have the motivation of the individual as well as the motivation of the school or the college to help that person succeed, that you can get a great deal, and that helps society.
This is an opportunity for students to grow. They're taking dance, they're doing painting, they're learning foreign languages that aren't offered during the day. So kids who stay with us after school are not getting boring, tedious things to do. They're getting fun things to do.
We want them to not only to learn and see this as something, oh, okay, I'm just having fun, no, but really to explore it and perhaps consider it as a career.
Through our efforts, we have raised a total of $700, and we're proud to have made a small difference in helping REAP meet their objectives and making a difference in the lives of those most disadvantaged in Rwanda. In addition to refurbishing schools that exist in Rwanda, REAP is now in the process of raising $200,000 to hopefully begin construction of a new school building in September. When calculated, this would come to about less than $100 per child. We would like to thank Mrs. Davis because without this opportunity, we would not have had the chance to volunteer within our global community. We all got to volunteer and give opportunity and hope to those on an international level. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, everyone. I think you can see why we're so proud of this group of students. There's a lovely spread out in the hallway there with some lunch for everyone, so I hope you can stick around and enjoy it. Thank you.